Hey everyone, today I would like to show you and discuss with you the inspection checklist that I have created for you. And this is for the preventive maintenance servicing for vehicles. It's all for vehicles, pickup truck, passenger cars, tractor trailers, straight truck, semi truck, etc. Okay, this is a preventive maintenance servicing checklist, and I have included all the relevant components, spare parts that you have to check while doing the preventive maintenance servicing. Could be a PM1, it could be a PM2, it could be a PM3, PM4, PM5, which I have already created for you last time, the preventive maintenance schedule. I hope you've seen that video. If not, then you just go to my channel and watch that video. It's very important that you understand the system of preventive maintenance. But when you implement the preventive maintenance servicing, you need a spec list just like this one that I have created for you. Very important that you do not miss out all the things that you have to check. I would like to show this to you. I would like to discuss this with you and explain to you how this one works, because there is a misconception among the people working in the workshop or in the motor pool, or in other people which are not doing work in a motor pool or in a workshop, especially for vehicles maintenance, repair maintenance, or preventive maintenance, or corrective maintenance. There's a misconception that the preventive maintenance is costly. That's why most of the organization, especially the large organization, they have integrated the preventive maintenance for their vehicles or for their fleet of vehicles. But that's for the larger organization. But for the smaller organization, because of the cost savings that they're trying to implement, they are skipping the preventive maintenance for their fleet of vehicles. They say we only have 20 vehicles, we only have 50 vehicles, or we only have 50 vehicles, so we don't need preventive maintenance because you need a bigger budget for that one, and it will be costly. That is actually a misconception, because preventive maintenance is going to prevent you from spending bigger amount of money. And preventive maintenance is only all about checking, if you're going to schedule your vehicle for preventive maintenance, does not mean that you're going to replace spare parts, you're going to repair spare parts, you're going to change this, you're going to change that. That is not correct. Preventive maintenance is about, you have liquid in the vehicles, you're going to top them up, like the engine oil, like the automatic transmission fluid, like the brake fluid, etc. Okay? Or check the parts, the moving parts, the parts that you think needs checking, you think that should be included in the checklist. You then check them. It's still good, still the condition is good, and it can still be used for the next 20,000 kilometers, for the next 6 months of utilization of the vehicles. Or you need to clean it. You need to clean let's say, for example, you need to clean the spark plugs, you need to clean the radiator, you need to clean the engine itself, right? Or you need to lubricate. You need to lubricate the bearing, the front end wheel bearing, or you need to make adjustment on the valves. If it is a mechanical valves, you need to adjust it, or you need to adjust the brake. If you're having a mechanical, brake shoe type of brakes, or then you need to change if you find something is wrong, something is already worn out, something is broken, something is torn, or like the engine support, you need to change the spark plugs, you need to change whatever that you want to make, you need to change like coolant thermostat, etc. And then recoat. Recoating is like repainting, you know. You think that the chassis needs repainting, you need recoating, you know, like rubberized paint materials. You need to repaint the rim, the tire rim, etc. Okay, to make it look good, to make it look clean, and make it look conditioned, so that you prevent the parts from getting rusted or from getting corrosion. So you need to recoat, especially the chassis that it needs rubberized type of paint materials. Then you need to do it. Usually it's done like PM5. Usually, PM5 is happening every year. It's an annual scheduling of preventive maintenance. So every 2 years, every 3 years, etc. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain to you item by item what we're going to do here. So it's not about changing right away or replacing the parts right away. It's about checking, inspection, cleaning, lubrication, etc. So the engine oil. The engine oil is, you check the engine oil, especially during PM1, whether it needs topping up, or you need to change the oil every 5,000 kilometers for conventional type of oil, or you need to change the oil every 10,000 kilometers. Okay, what I have here is the information of the type of vehicles that you have, like the plate number for this one, pickup number 10. Then the unit descriptions like pickup truck, double cab, 6.6 diesel V8, or a gas or petrol V8 or V6, or four-cylinder, you know, and the odometer. So it's very important that you 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 list down the actual odometer reading, so that you have the record that will show that, like, let's say for example 25,000 kilometers, you have already done the servicing on this vehicle for the 25,000 kilometers reading. And you go, of course you have the date, and unit make. For example, this one I have, the unit make that I have included here is the 2023 year model GMC Sierra 2500 HD, 10-speed automatic transmission, or it could be manual transmission. Oh, it could be a four-wheel drive, 4WD. Then the type of preventive maintenance that you're doing, like this one is PM1. Okay, so I have said engine oil is changed every 5,000 kilometers um, for conventional type of oil, and usually 10,000 kilometers for synthetic oil. So it depends on, this is a decision making that your fleet manager is going to decide whether to do it, to utilize a conventional type of oil, or use a full synthetic or semi-synthetic type of oil, depending on the frequency of use, or how many times you drive the truck, or the car, or the semi truck, how many times you drive it in a week's time or in a month's time. So the manager, this is a decision making, this is a management decision to decide whether to use a conventional or regular type of oil, or a synthetic oil. So here you have some choices of the type of service that you're implementing or executing. Engine oil, maybe daily use or preventive maintenance every monthly schedule, for example. you put type top up or check, top up or check the oil, the viscosity of the oil. Every time you change the oil, you have to send a sample for laboratory test to check the oil, especially for diesel, to check the viscosity of the oil. Okay, uh, clean. This does not apply. Lubricate, adjust. No, change can be applied. So you just click for to change, and then recode does not apply. So there are only two things: top up, check, or change the oil. So whenever you change the oil, you have to change the engine oil filter as well. So you don't have to check every 5,000 kilometers for conventional oil, or 10,000 kilometers for synthetic oil. You have to change or replace the oil filter. Okay, change or replace is all the same thing. Okay, and the air filter, you need to check whether the air filter is still good for use for the next 3 months, 6 months. You have to check whether the air filter is damaged already, or there's some holes in it. Okay, torn parts of the filter. uh, you actually don't you don't apply like every 10,000 kilometers you have to change it or you have to replace it. No, you have to check the condition. Okay, and then you have to clean it with air blown air. I have to check with the air to remove all the dust and all the particles inside the air filter, so that the air can freely move, enter the combustion chamber of the engine. Or you change it if it's already damaged, it's too oily, soily, and so many things and damaged already. Then you have to change it or you have to replace it. Okay, the drive belt, you have to make adjustment of the drive belt. You can do that. Or you think the drive belt is slipping already, slippage, there's slippage between the drive belt and the pulley. You have to replace, or you have to dress it. There's a dressing you know belt dresser that you can actually purchase from outside, where you spray. It's a spraying can where you spray the content of the belt dresser, so that you prevent the drive belt from slippage in the pulley. Okay, to have more friction, to have more grip on the pulley. So you're going to do that. That it is, you have to clean it also. You can do that by cleaning it. And lubrication is applicable here, because like the the belt racer is like a lubricant. So it's actually not a to make it to just to make it the belt having more grip on the pulley. Or you replace or you change the pulley. You can do that. Okay, then radiator hose and clamps, upper radiator hose, you can change it. Okay, the radiator hose and clamps lower still okay or already damaged, then you can also replace that. You make changes on the okay. Radiator cores, it needs what? It needs cleaning right here. Radiator cap, you have to check the valve on the radiator cap. So you have to check whether it's still okay or not okay. Or you need to change or replace the radiator cores and fins, and the radiator cap rather. You need to change, or you see whether the valve, the radiator cap is leaking or not. And whenever the coolant is expanding because of the temperature is rising up, then radiator cap should be okay or should be replaced. It's not working anymore. And you have to check the radiator shroud and cooling fan. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you know, I'm going to, I'm going to go to view and I'm going to freeze the panes. Okay. Freeze panes. Okay. So now you can actually move this upward. Okay. Then coolant thermostat, you replace the thermostat, especially if the engine is already overheating because the thermostat is not opening anymore and you got a coolant thermostat, stuck up thermostat, then you have to replace it. You have to change that one. If it is a petrol engine, you need to replace the spark plug or you need to just clean the spark plug. The spark plug can also be clean and the spark plug can be, can be adjusted as well. You make adjustment of the spark plug, the gap between the electrode and the ground. You need to check the gap. So you need to make adjustment. The spark plug cables, what you do with the spark plug cables is you do the checkup. You check the spark plug cable. If there are damages on the cable is, the current is leaking from the cable to the engine, perhaps. Okay, you need to check the cable. If the cable is torn, so if this torn, the current will be jumping from the cable out to the frame. Okay, you need to clean it as well. You can do that. Then adjustment, no. Change, you can replace it if it's damaged already. Okay. The fuel filter also needs to be checked. Okay. Usually when you have a misfiring engine, you have problems with the filter, or the engine is having a hard starting situation or condition. Then you can also replace the fuel filter. The fuel filter, there are filters that can be cleaned. There is a housing and cartridge. There is also a type of filter that is throwaway type, just like the oil filter, a spin-on type. You just replace it and throw it away. Injectors can be cleaned. The tip of the injectors, the nozzle of the injectors can also be cleaned and adjusted, especially for a diesel type of engine. And in this case, this is a pickup truck double cab 6.6 diesel V8 engine. And the fuel pump check. You can also check the output. Okay, check the output of the fuel pump. Okay, the injection pump, especially the injection pump of the some engines like the Isuzu, okay, Isuzu and other diesel engine. You can actually remove the injection pump and send it outside for calibration to a shop whose expertise is doing injection pump calibration. Then for the valve, you don't need to adjust this. You just check it because it is automatic. It's hydraulic, so the adjustment is not applicable on this one. And the fuel governor is also with the injection pump. You send the injection pump for calibration. Also, the governor can also be a calibration can also be done. You check the AT fluid, okay? You check the AT fluid by, okay, you top up. Actually, some of the engine, when you check the transmission fluid level, you do it while the engine is warm. You have just, started the engine for, let's say, 5 minutes and getting it warm so that you can check so that the fluid will expand when it is hot or warmer. And you check the transmission fluid while the engine is idling. Okay. It is not like the engine oil where you check it while the engine is stopped. Even if the engine is cold and the oil is cold, you can do the checking. But for the transmission fluid, you do it while the engine is warm and the engine is idling. Okay. Then you check the transmission oil manual. It could be a transmission oil SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers, number 90, or it could be 140. But usually 140 is, some of the managers, they're using that in the rear differential gear. They use 140 for more viscosity. That's the purpose of having a higher grade of, or SAE grade of gear oil. 140 is, in terms of viscosity of the oil. So when it comes to transmission oil manual, on the check on the side of the transmission, you have what you call the engine oil level plug. You can check that. Then you change. You look at the oil, whether the oil is still okay, good. Usually they done the changing of oil of transmission and the differential oil every year. That is preventive maintenance, PM5, number 5. Okay, they usually do that every year, whether the oil is dirty or not, or especially if the oil is viscosity is already low in terms of the viscosity, and there are also some contamination in the oil. No, you have to change it. Also, the same thing with transaxle. Transaxle is for front drive passenger cars. Okay, to check the transaxle, whether the transaxle is uh, the the uh, the the car or the vehicle is automatic or manually shift type of vehicle. You have the transaxle for front drive. Then also differential oil, same thing with the transmission oil. You can check that, and you can change that also. You can change that. And then for the tires and rims, you check the uh, lugs. Okay, the nuts and the lugs. You check that. You check the thread. Okay, you clean it. You put a lubrication. The grease. You can actually put grease on the lug nuts, so you can do lubrication on that. Okay, and you can also test the tightness of the nuts. Okay, you can check all the nuts, all the four wheels of the lug nuts. Wheel bearing, actually you can do it every. You're doing it not every month or PM1. Actually, you can do it every 6 months. Okay, or PM4. Okay, you can lubricate. You can remove the front wheel bearing. It's a cone type of bearing. It's a cone and cap type of bearing. You can lubricate that with your high temperature type of grease. Okay, it's very important that you do not use an ordinary type of grease. You have to purchase a special type of grease, which is a bit more expensive. That it will be good for your wheel bearing. It will last long. Then the clutch fluid also, you can check. You can either the clutch fluid, either you can top up, or you can check, or you can change. If it's already contaminated, then you change that. Then the clutch master sleeve cylinder is also the same. Check. Okay, top up or check or change. And then for the clutch cable, you check the clutch cable, whether the clutch cable is worn out, or the cable is hitting something, making it bend or getting kink. So you have to check that. Or if you think that it's already damaged, then you also have to replace. The only time that you replace the parts or components that upon checking it, is you found it to be worn out or be damaged or something, then that's the only time but most of the time you only top up, check, clean, lubricate, adjust. Okay. The last resort would be the changing. If you find out that the parts really needs changing, propeller joint, you need to lubricate. There is a what you call check, lubricate. There's what you call nipple for grease. You have to grease it up. Okay. You schedule the greasing. It's not every PM, but maybe every couple of months or every 3 months or every 6 months. It's up to you. It, depending on the where you use the vehicle. If you use the vehicle more often in the off-road, off-road is in the mountain, unpaved road, then you need to lubricate them more often, more frequent. Then center bearing, if it's damaged, you check, if it's damaged, you change that. The transfer case is like this is for the four-wheel drive type of pickup truck, for example. You have a transfer case where transfer case drives the rear differential and the front differential at the same time. So 4WD, four-wheel drive. And then the engine support, you check the engine support and change if it is damaged. Okay. Usually, if it is, even if it is not, during the preventive maintenance servicing, you hear noise when you are driving your vehicle, especially off road. You hear noise. Your engine is knocking on the chassis. Then it it means that the engine support is already torn or damaged. So you need to replace that. Transmission support. Transmission support is also like the engine support, but most of most of the damage is happening on the engine support rather than the transmission support. Very seldom that you have a transmission support damage, but it is damaged after 2 years or 3 years. Usually 5 years of utilization of the vehicle, the transmission support is not damaged. But depending on the utilization, if you utilize it off road every day, then most likely it will not last 5 years. You have to replace it. So depending on the type of drive that you're doing in the vehicle, the kingpin, this is for the trailer. You check and then lubricate. Can do the lubrication as well. Fifth wheel, this is for the tractor. The fifth wheel can be checked for any damage, especially the mechanical parts which lock the fifth wheel into the kingpin. You clean it and then lubricate with grease. Okay. Seldom that you replace it does not get damaged that often. So very seldom you have a damaged fifth wheel. The vehicle, you are going to dispose the vehicle, but the fifth wheel is still intact, still okay for use. The steering fluid, the power steering fluid needs ETF, so you check, you top up also if it needs topping up, or you change the steering fluid. Pit pan arm, you need to check that. If this damaged, you replace. Idler arm, this is for the steering group. Rock and pinion, steering as well. The tie rod ends, the stabilizer rod, steering gearbox. When you replace the tie rod ends, you alter the front end wheel alignment. So if you replace the tie rod ends, you have to again send the vehicle to the shop for the realignment of the front wheel, because you most likely the toe in toe out of the front wheels is altered because you have changed the tie rod ends. So anyway, it's easily done. It's already computerized. The front end wheel alignment it can be done in less than 30 minutes, so no problem. Okay. Then the shock absorber, you feel the vehicle is too stiff, especially when you are off road. it's too stiff and noisy. Okay, and also you check the coil spring. You check the bolt that is, the fastener that is keeping the coil spring on the hanging from the chassis. The lip spring also. Okay. Most of the big heavy vehicles are using lip spring, especially the trucks. Okay, they're using lip spring. But for the big small vehicles, they use coil spring, especially the passenger cars. The upper suspension and the lower suspension, you check the tightness of the bolt, the fasteners, the ball joint. This is in the front wheel, ball joint suspension bag for the trailer, landing legs for the trailer, brake fluid. You check the brake fluid, the brake master cylinder, the wheel brake cylinder. Okay, you change the fluid. You check the brake caliper, the brake shoes. Okay, brake pad. You check the brake pads. This is the front wheel brakes, brake pads, brake slack adjuster for heavy vehicles, pneumatic vehicles. Okay, heavy vehicle brake chamber. You need to check that brake booster. This is the hydrovac. Okay, air brake control trailer, anti-lock braking system, ABS. Check that. Usually, when you have a damage, uh, the damaged ABS sensor, the 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 lights of the ABS on your in front of you, on the front of the driver, on the dashboard, where the lights will turn on. That means you have problem in your ABS sensor. So you have to check you have to send it to shop for scanning. Okay, battery electrolyte. If you are having an electrolyte type of battery terminals need to be clean, lubricated, as well as the battery cables, the terminals. Starter motor, you have to check that. The Bindex drive, alternator assembly, whether the alternator assembly is still, giving charges to the battery. Headlights, check all the lightings have to be checked during the PM1. The PCB valve, okay, the park lights at the PCB valve, positive crank is ventilation. Okay, check. Valve hose, PCB valve hose, you check that for leak. EGR, exhaust gas recirculation. For emission control, check that also. Fuel canister needs to be checked. This is for every PM, monthly, you do the checking for the fuel canister oxygen sensor as well. But this oxygen sensor catalytic converter can be checked by the scanning, no, the vehicle scanning uh, gadget that you have. You can do that. They can be checked. Air injection pump is for, this is actually for emission control also system. And the aircon compressor, noisy operation, it does not give good temperature already, high temperature, so you need to check the compressor. The pipes and hoses for leakages. The inspection glass, you have to check the inspection glass. You need to check the receiver dryer. The cabin filter, this is inside the cab, inside the cabin. When you're having a higher temperature on your air conditioning system, it's because you already have a clogged cabin filter. The cabin filter is already dirty. It's very easy to remove. This is under your glove compartment. Usually, it is installed in the glove compartment near or close to the what you call uh, the air conditioning system, the evaporator system. So you have to check that or replace if it needs replacement. Change that one also. Seat belts for driver as well as for the passenger. You have to check that still working or good or not. Check the airbags. If the airbags already deployed, you have to send it to shop for the installation of the airbag system. And also for vehicles with the rear camera, whether the rear camera is still working, especially for SUV. most of the SUV now is having uh, rear cameras when you are backing up, is you are making sure that you don't hit something or someone at the back, so you have to have a good camera working. So in this note, indicate tick symbol on a specific task applied and done, and this will be done by mechanic, and mechanic's name will be written here, and the mechanic will sign here for your signature. Very important that you do this preventive maintenance, because you don't want to end up like, for example, if you're not changing the engine oil and oil filter, okay, and then you times will come that your connecting rod or your main bearing gets sticky and gets stuck up with the crankshaft, and you need to do overhauling, and also your piston rings get sticky. This is most of the problems when you don't have preventive maintenance. And the changing of oil usually, the oil cost, the pipe quarts of oil is, the cost is about, the price is about $20 to $30. Yeah, and including oil filter replacement, you will spend $75 for including the filter and the engine oil, especially if you're using the synthetic oil. But that is happening every 10,000 or even 15,000 kilometers. But for the conventional oil, that is happening every 5,000 kilometers. But if you don't do that, and your engine will end up with a major overhauling job because of the problems or the issues I have told you, like the sticky, uh, the sticky piston ring, or sticky connecting rod bearing or main bearing. Then you need to rebuild your engine. Then you have to spend, especially the V8 engine, you're gonna spend between $4,500 to $5,000. That's quite a large amount of money that you're gonna spend. So if you're just doing your regular preventive maintenance and you're changing your oil and oil filter, even the air filter regularly, then you're not going to end up doing overhauling of your engine. So that's very important. Okay, so let your mechanic you use this very useful. This is a very useful inspection checklist, and I'm gonna do inspection checklist for heavy equipment vehicle, and also for the generator set engines. I will also present to you another type of checklist, and if you want to print this one, you can also do that. You just go to the file and then print, and then just show print preview. And the one that I have created for you is only two, there are only 2 pages, okay? It's taking quite some time, no opening, but anyway, it's already open. And this is the first page, and this is the second page, okay? So you can actually, you print this out for your mechanics to be able to use this checklist every time they're doing they're doing preventive maintenance servicing for your vehicles, and they can use this inspection checklist. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you like what you see in this presentation. If you do, please subscribe. As I am gonna be uploading more checklist, inspection checklist of another type of fleet or your asset that needs to be checked when you're doing preventive maintenance. And also hit the notification bell and hit the all, so that you'll be notified of all my uploads, new uploads. And thank you for watching.